Jess from Sallie Tomato, and welcome to our channel. Here we teach tutorials for making professional looking projects that are easy and fun to make. Today's video is for all you pet lovers out there. I'm going to show you how to make a leash and collar set using my new pattern called Toto. Of course, this pattern was inspired by one of cinema's most beloved dogs, Toto from The Wizard of Oz. There are 4 sizes included in the pattern, and you can feature your favorite cotton or canvas prints to make a completely customized set. Your furry friend is gonna feel so pampered. This pattern features durable hardware, interfaced fabrics, and faux leather or cork accents for additional support. Adjust the size of your collar for the perfect fit, and simply clip the leash onto the D-ring to attach it to the collar. This pattern is also the perfect companion to our buddy pouch pattern, which is designed to hold your pet's waist bags. Either clip the pouch to your belt or attach a gate ring to the handle of the leash and clip the pouch to the ring. Before we begin the tutorial, be sure to purchase the pattern. You can find the pattern and all of the supplies to make this project on our website, sallietomato.com, or you can request them at your local quilt shop. The supplies you need are listed on the back of the pattern, including a list of helpful notions. I encourage you to pause the video as the steps progress so that way you can sew along with me step by step. I've already gathered my supplies according to the pattern, so let's get started. Measure your pet's neck to select the ideal size. Refer to the pattern to see which size will fit your pet best. Then follow the cutting instructions for the corresponding size that you chose. Center and fuse the interfacing for the collar against the wrong side of your main fabric. Make sure to refer to the pattern since each end should have a measurement with no interfacing on it. If you're using multiple pieces of interfacing like I am, position and fuse the first piece, then overlap the next piece 1/4 of an inch and fuse it in place. And you'll repeat to attach all your scraps of interfacing to meet the required length and make sure that those ends don't have any interfacing on them according to the pattern. I'm using a lightweight woven interfacing, but you could certainly use a mid or heavyweight interfacing depending on the size of your collar and leash, and also depending on your fabrics if you think that your machine can handle sewing through a little bit more thickness. Next, you're going to join the pieces for the leash to make one continuous piece. So place the short ends right sides together perpendicular to each other and sew a diagonal seam from corner to corner. Then trim the excess seam allowance to about 1/4 inch wide. Press the seam open. Then center and fuse the interfacing for the leash against the wrong side of the main fabric, and make sure that there's no interfacing on each end according to the pattern. Again, if you're using multiple pieces, feel free to position and fuse as I mentioned before. It's a great way to use up scraps and smaller pieces of interfacing, but make sure you have that overlap so that way you have a strong bond and even fuse on the fabric, and even stability across the entire length of the leash. Next, press the short ends of the collar to the wrong side according to your pattern. Then, with wrong sides together, fold and press the long edges to the center. You'll also take your leash, with wrong sides together, fold and press the long edges to the center. Then, with wrong sides together, fold the collar in half along the length again, so that way the raw edges are concealed on the inside. You'll also take your leash and fold it wrong sides together in half again and press along the entire length of the leash. Also take pieces C and D, which are out of your faux leather or cork fabric for your connector and handle of the leash, and you're going to fold those in half with wrong sides together. You do not want to use an iron, so I recommend just holding the edges together with sewing clips, or you could even use a seam roller or your fingers. Then you're going to top stitch an 1/8 inch from all edges of pieces A, B, C, and D. Now we're ready to assemble the collar. Thread one end of your collar over the center bar of a slider buckle and make sure the single fold is at the top. Then fold the end to the underside according to your pattern. Top stitch a box with an X inside the box to secure the end in place. Refer to your pattern for the measurements. Now, position the underside of your collar face up on the right-hand side and the side release buckle positioned right side up on the left. You're going to thread the end through one side of the side release buckle from the underside to the top side. Then you're going to thread the end of the collar over the center bar of the slider buckle. Next, grab your D-ring and slide it over the end of the collar with the flat side against the underside. Take your end and thread it through the remaining side of the side release buckle from the top side to the underside. Release the buckle into 2 halves. Then fold the end to the underside according to your pattern and make sure the D-ring is away from the end. At the end, top stitch a box with an X inside the box. Then move the D-ring so it's against the box stitching. Use a zipper foot or narrow foot to stitch across the collar near each hardware. Apply a piece of basting tape to the wrong side of each piece C connector and D handle end along the center. Set the handle aside and thread piece C through a swivel hook with the flat side against the underside, which has the tape on it. Fold piece C in half, encasing one end of your leash, according to your pattern. Top stitch across piece C near the hardware, then an 1/8 inch from the remaining edges. You'll also top stitch a box with an X inside the box nearest the raw ends. And also a second box according to your pattern. Fold the handle in half, encasing the opposite end of the leash according to your pattern. Top stitch a box with an X inside the box nearest the raw ends. And a second box according to your pattern. Awesome job! I hope you're excited to start using your new walking set. Thank you so much for sewing with me today, and I truly hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and learned some new tips and techniques. We encourage you to share photos of your completed project and your furry friend using hashtag #SallieTomato and Toto walk set on social media. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll check out the rest of our pattern line for more professional looking projects. See you next time!